Yes, people, what is going on, man? What is going on? We're live on Chelsea Fan TV, GNA TV. Big up. I see a few people have been waiting here. Just had a few technical issues beforehand. Let's quickly go through the chat. We've got man like Mixter, big up, high up, big up, my bro. High up the Chelsea, whatever that means. Big yourself up, my bro. Got Freddie in here as well, up the Chelsea. Smash the likes of always. Big up Daniel, hi as well. But yeah, man, there'll be more people coming in a second. But listen, how you lot feeling this morning, man? Let me know in the comments how you lot are feeling after yesterday's performance. Because for me personally, I'd probably say that was our best performance of the season, man. We literally did not take our hands off of West Ham's neck yesterday. We were killers in front of goal. We weren't selfish in front of goal. We were clinical in front of goal. We played as a team. You know, the subs were good as well. It was good to see a nice bench. So listen, I'm happy. I'm very happy with that performance, man. So people, keep the comments coming in. Like I said, we've got a good show ahead. Got to bring Andrew up in a sec as well, because I've actually got a show at 12 o'clock on Saeed's channel, midday live. So I'm going to be on here for about 45 minutes with Andrew. But like I said, let me know how you lot are feeling in the comments, man. Let's go through it again. We've got man like James. I think this is an emoji for man like Cole Palmer. Yep, Cole Palmer does turn 22 today as well. Happy birthday to man like Cole. Let's see, you got Wikipedia publisher. It was great. It was great, bro. It was great. I was loving every minute of it. Every minute of it. And for me personally, I'm from East, innit? So I know a lot of West Ham people. Yeah, I've got a lot of West Ham friends. Obviously, I jump on the show with Dan Potts and Lawless. Big up Lawless every Wednesdays on Potts' channel, and he's a big West Ham content creator and whatnot. And yeah, he's gonna hold some serious smoke on Wednesday, man, because to give these lot 5, it was serious get back. Because if you don't remember, when we played them away, they beat us 3-1. Yeah, Enzo missed that penalty in that first half. We came out second half and we just capitulated like we have majority of the season in the second half. So it was very, very nice. Very, very nice to finally go and smash West Ham. Because our head-to-head record hasn't been great recently, you know. It really hasn't been great. We've only won, out of the 5 games before we played them yesterday, we've only won 2 out of our last 5. Do you know what I'm saying? So, end of the day, like I said, I'm happy with that performance, man. It's about time that we smoked West Ham. Felt like the good old days, you know. Big up Philip, we're fired up. We are fired up, my bro. And I hope it continues as well. Big up Jem. Jem's currently on holiday at the minute, guys. Love in Morocco. You know what I'm saying? He probably looks like his picture right now. Fully tanned and whatnot. But big up Jem every time, man. Big up Don, big up Jem, man. Iksan, don't sell Gallagher and Chalobah. Gallagher? You mean Gallagher? Unfortunately, bro, I think they're still gonna get sold, man. I think they were very good yesterday. Gallagher had another game where he was actually crashing the box with a lot of intent. You know, very, very good finish from him as well to hit that on the volley. That's what we want to see from Gallagher, because at the end of the day, he's not a creative monster. But what he's going to get you is at least going to get you goals. And if he got a lot more goals from the midfield, less and less people will be on his back, because at least he'll be contributing to winning more games and whatnot, you know. He's actually got a decent record this year. I didn't even realize he's sitting on. It's only yesterday when I checked it, I said, wow, this guy's actually got quite a lot of numbers. I actually put a tweet out comparing him to Dominic Szoboszlai, yeah. And obviously, me being shameless as always, I said Hungarian Steven Gerrard versus what do you call it? Let me even just share my screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm on about. Yeah, where is it right now? I can't believe this. I'm actually doing some Gallagher prop. Imagine, you never thought you'd see the day, but that's what happens when you do well. You get credit. You know what I mean? Not when you're slipping everywhere and falling down and getting in between the lines. You don't know what you're doing. Do you know what I'm saying? This is when you get credit, when you're playing like this, Connor. You know, and I think he's still going to get sold, like I've said, but it's good, isn't it? It's good what he's doing right now at the minute. Let me just share my screen with you guys so you can see the tweet that I put out. Where is this? There we go. Yeah. So look, this is a comparison that I went with. Yeah. You had big up Grizz on the Big Six when they first brought this Szoboszlai guy, talking about Hungarian Steven Gerrard after that one game. I think what game was it? I think it was Burnley. I can't remember what team they faced, yeah, but he was immense that game. But look at the difference here. Gallagher's on 5 goals. He's got 7 assists. You know what I'm saying? So Bosley's sitting on 3 goals, 2 assists, you know? And I was actually surprised when I saw this yesterday. I was thinking, right, this guy's actually put up some numbers this year. And to be honest, he could have more. He could actually have more because he hasn't been that good of a box crasher this season. Like, he scored a few good goals, but there's a lot of games where I can think where Gallagher's like, flipping, he should have scored that. Even the other day, he should have scored that as well. When Palmer played it across to him. Do you know what I'm saying? But big him up, man. Big him up. And then with Chalobah, I thought he was immense yesterday as well, man. This is a player that for me is definitely good enough to be in the squad. And for me, he's better than Disasi as well. He is better than Disasi. I think he's faster than Disasi. I prefer him on the ball to Disasi. The only thing that I'd say Disasi has over him is probably his ball playing ability from the back. But Chalobah's actually kind of improved it. Like, since he's come back from injury, I've seen his ball playing ability improve massively, to be honest with you. Massively. And that pass for the 4th goal, like I said, we'll go for a lot. Go for a lot today because there's a lot to go through. We've got 5 goals to talk about. Do you know what I'm saying? So we'll go through quite a bit there, innit? But like I said, Chalobah, I think he's been good, man. But again, I can see him being sold because he's straight profit, unfortunately. So let's hope that he finishes off the season well, and he manages to get himself a decent move, because there's a few teams in Italy that wanted him. I think Inter wanted him. So I reckon he'll get a good move in it. You know what I'm saying? But let's see what else the chat is saying, man. I think we've got about 100 people here. I think it's time to bring up man like Andrew. You say, my bro?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Been a good week. Good London double. Couple of clean sheets. I read it was our first back-to-back clean sheet since February 2023 or March 2023. So we haven't kept back-to-back clean sheets in over a year. So it was all good, man. Yesterday, listen, yesterday was very good. I know they hit the bar a few times.
Crazy.
Yeah, one was a set piece, which is our Achilles heel. One was when Petrovic was like slapping the ball in the first half, and then the second half was a deflected shot. But I didn't really think they did anything else apart from that. The only player I thought that played well for them was Kudus, and he is going to. If someone signs Kudus next season, he is a player. Right. There.
I'm taking him. For that left hand side, bro. I'm taking him.
I thought Paqueta is so ready for that Man City move that he didn't even bother showing up yesterday. He was non-existent. He was just non-existent. I know we made them non-existent, but I didn't even realize Antonio was playing until the second half when he was like in our half, like tackling. It was a very, very good performance, and I'll be fair. I've not really since the cup final. I've not really been on Poch that much. Only a couple of times. But since he's done this inverting thing, and I feel like circumstances have like fallen into his hands where he's had to play the players due to injuries and the squad or something. But since he's chosen like a real core, like 7 or 8 players the last few games, you can see the continuity come through. And yeah, man, it was a good. That first half performance, especially, was probably, if not the best, it's definitely up there. And we can only have a few selections this season. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. Exactly. And listen, what do you think the big difference is at the minute, Andrew? Because listen, I'm seeing a few people starting this narrative at the minute, as you get all the time with Enzo Fernandez. Even when Enzo's playing, they love to scapegoat him. We won't win the game, or we'll draw a game, we'll lose a game. Straight to Enzo Fernandez. Oh, what did Enzo do today? Oh, it's always Enzo. And even now, Enzo's not playing. His name's being mentioned again. So do you think that we're playing like this at the minute because Enzo's out of the team? Or do you think it's more Poch for actually inverting Cucurella and changing that midfield dynamic? What would you say?
Well, it was funny because there was quotes attributed to Poch yesterday, and I'm abbreviating them. One of them was saying, it's like building a team up. You've got to have strength and legs in that team, and I thought that was an indirect shot to Enzo Fernandez that some people have. But if you notice that, it's not really Chelsea. Some Chelsea fans are obsessed with him, but it's not really Chelsea fans obsessed with Enzo. It's a rival fans that are obsessed with Enzo and stuff like that. Listen. I think he'll be a good player. Whether he's here or not, I'm not too sure. That's the thing. Because I don't know, like, how it would have been if Lavia would have been fit all season, whether we would have played a flat 3 or something like that. But I don't think the thing is, though, is that this group of players, there's not many to die on a hill for. And at the moment, I think Enzo's sort of in the middle of that. Do you know what I mean? With his performances and stuff like that. Because let's face it, let's be fair. I think he's had an average season, if I'm being kind.
It has been average. It has, yeah.
So, but I think obviously him being out, I don't know when Poch decided to invert Cucurella, and why didn't he do this like 10 games ago or 15 games ago or something like that? Because Cucurella's been there available. He's been injured very infrequently this season,
and that's what Bill's saying as well. Bill's saying that if we played this system, big up Bill, bro. If we played this system 5-6 games ago, we'll be in front of Spurs. Listen, if we played this system start of the season, we'll be pushing for top 4 at the minute. You know what I'm saying? Because the teams in and around us have been so inconsistent, inconsistent. And it happens every single season. You know, when people were saying to me, "Oh, you're deluded for thinking that Chelsea, this young team, are going to get top 4," I said, listen, you lot are really, really overrating top 4 at the minute, you know, because every single year we talk about how this team wants to give it to that, and that team wants to give it to that team. And towards the end of the season, you finish around that area for a reason, because you're very inconsistent. It happens every single season. You're never going to get teams as consistent as what Arsenal and Man City have been if they're going to finish outside of the top 4. That's never going to happen. And for me, that's what I was looking at. I was thinking, yo, we've got 1 game a week. He's got a massive squad. This is a manager that's been here for over 15 years. You know, he understands the league. I thought he would do a better job than this. And what I was seeing in pre-season, I was happy to translate that into the season. But then again, he went away from it. And the scary part about it is he could clearly see it wasn't working. But he kept persisting with it. And that's why I looked at it and said, this guy's a spy. Because why do you keep doing stuff that clearly isn't working? You know, then rivals will come to you and tell you, oh, yeah, but I watch your games and you lot miss chances. And I'm like, yeah, the players should be doing more in front of goal. But if you're going to have that logic, that means the manager should also be doing more, because he's not doing enough. You know, when you're playing people out of position, that's not doing your job well, especially when you've got people fit as well. It's not like he's had all these injuries from the beginning. Yeah, we had a lot of injuries, but we still had I've always said, Andrew, for me, we've had more than enough to make a meal. You know what I'm saying? You know, like when you go downstairs, you ain't been to Asda yet, you ain't been to Tesco yet, you ain't done your shop yet, but you're looking in the cupboard and you're like, what can I make today? You see some noodles in there, you see some sauce in there. You're like, do you know what? I can make a little something. Same thing as Poch. He could have made a little something. He had Maatsen right there. If he came in, he would have been inverting like Cucurella. Do you know what I'm saying? Even away from
I think even to be fair, I think even Chilwell might have done a good job inverting. Do you know what I mean? Just
no.
Just a little bit. He might have. No. I think I think he does. I think he lacks a physicality, but he does. He is a good passer.
Yeah, but he's not good on the ball, bro. He would have kept moving.
But what I'm saying is this.
Chilwell can't play like Maatsen and Cucurella, bro. That's why I wanted.
No, I'm not saying he can. I'm just saying it'd be different. It'd be different. What I'm saying is this, though. I'd rather a manager come in and have conviction to change something, even if it might seem unpopular with the fan base. Maybe he should have done this and then tried to work Enzo into this. Do you know what I mean? Like, start off with it and then try and work Enzo into it, or just do it like that. I don't care about the price. If I was a manager, I wouldn't care about the price tag. You bought me to manage this team, right?
Yeah.
If you feel pressure to play Enzo or something like that, then that's on Poch itself. But rather someone to come in and go, well, actually, this is working for me right now. And if he does stay on, he can throw that back at people's faces. I said if, because I think he's running out of games. I think he's run because remember, did you see that statement from Pies yesterday? That apparently the board it's not Europe or European Conference, it's Europa League. Europa League, not conference, not like just Europe. It's Europa League. And I'm just looking back on so many games, just 2 in particular, Burnley and Sheffield United. If we'd won those games, it'd be 2 points off Spurs. And I know, and look how Spurs are playing. Oh, they've got Sheffield United and Burnley, but these guys are on the beach. They've lost 4 in a row.
Would have been level with Spurs, you know. They're 6 points
and Man United play Newcastle as well. It would all work in our hands. And Man United played Crystal Palace tonight.
Exactly.
So it's like now,
bro, I take it back to even Brentford. Like when we played Brentford and we decided to start 2 attackers. I've never been so angry. I was calling Alex, big up Alex, Chelsea Fan TV. Yeah, I was screaming down the phone because I drove to that game. See, I went to that game, and when I saw the lineup, I honestly couldn't believe it. Yeah, I thought Ben Chilwell was even playing at left wing, but then I saw we went to a back 5, and then we just weren't playing well that game. Then all of a sudden, when he decides to bring on Sterling, bring on Mudryk, bring on all of these attackers, surprise, surprise, we score, but a little bit too late. You remember when Palmer gave it to Disasi and Disasi scored that header? That was more dropped points that game. We should have won that game against Brentford because when we faced them, they lost 10 out of their 12 games. you know what I'm saying? So listen, for me, like I've said, yeah, looking back at so many games this season, I'm like, yo, yes, these players haven't been consistent in front of goal, but there's so many games where I can think, yo, he could have done this in the first half, or he could have changed this at half time, or he could have started this lineup. So many just basic mistakes where this guy's, when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, yo, he's just setting guys up to fail, you know? Right. So clearly he knows that there's something there. There's a solution. I'm seeing PR coming out today as well, yeah? Talking about Poch has been thinking about doing this for the past few weeks or something. Let me see if I can bring it up and share the screen with everyone.
I hate people like that. 150. Why would you say that? Why would you even bring that up? It's like that annoys me even more. That annoys me even more.
It annoys me, bro. You know,
shouldn't be saying anything like that.
Let's bring this up here, yeah. But first of all, people, got 161 people. Make sure that you're smashing the like, subscribing to the channel. Big up Francis. In October or November, Poch did say something that if he doesn't play certain players, the owners will be on his case. Listen, I can't even remember that, to be honest, because you see this guy, he said a lot. He said a lot of nothing as well. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I don't know, innit? I don't know. There's a lot of quotes about Poch. You got Ishmael here saying Poch instability. Bro, it's not just about stability, man. If you want fans like myself and Andrew to trust you, you've got to show us something for us to want to trust you. Do you know what I'm saying? And this over the season, he's shown us more bad than good. But if he was doing this from the beginning, everyone would be sitting here happy, bro. You know, even if we're not winning that many games, but we can clearly see we've got a style of play. We can clearly see relationships are building. We can clearly see that we're not struggling to beat low blocks. Everyone will be looking at the season completely different. But it's the fact that we're looking at our team. We're looking at a bunch of individuals who aren't useless, but they're being made to look worse than what they are. And that's got to go down to the coaching and go down to the manager. Do you know what I'm saying? But let me bring this up here, man.
Right.
Because like I said, there's a lot of things that Poch has, you know, he keeps talking, man. He loves to talk, don't he, this guy? Yeah. So there, as you can see here.
Yeah, so suddenly found it. Yeah, he suddenly found his voice. Yeah, suddenly found his voice. Yeah.
Can you see that? Is that zoomed in enough? Yeah. Can you read that? That should be zoomed in enough, isn't it? Hold on, let me see if I can.
Yes, I can read it. It's fine.
I'll just read it anyway. So, Pochettino responding to a question on Cucurella's role says that he and his staff have lots of tactical ideas in their heads that they will show in the future. But first, the team needs to have belief, build, trust, and compete. And then here he also says Pochettino compares the tactical ideas with his analogy. Before you sit, you need a chair. I mean, what do you think about this quote, Andrew, man? Because I don't know what this brother's talking about. It just sounds like a man that's you know, on his last legs and he's fighting for his job at the minute, you know, and realize that he messed up and he's trying to worm his way out of it. But what do you think of these quotes, man?
Well, compare his quotes to the last couple of games where he's been like, don't ask me, ask the board, ask the directors. It's not just me that should be under pressure. And now he's like talking like, oh yeah, in the future. Bro, we've got like 3 games left. What are you talking about in the future for? It's like, why? Honestly, it's like, I honestly wanted someone to go in depth and go, okay, so when did this idea come across? Why didn't you implement it before? Why were you not allowed to implement it before? Why wasn't you know, Enzo's had this reported injury. Why didn't you implement it before? You know, look how much it's helping. Okay, the Arsenal game aside, because we didn't implement it against Arsenal, no problem. But last 2 games, implement it. Why wasn't this done before? That's what I mean. Why didn't you have the convictions or the confidence to do it before? Even if people were going, oh, you've got to play this guy. Says no, for the betterment of my team. I think and the betterment of how I want to play, I have the players that can play like this. I have a Caicedo, I have a Gallagher, I have a Cucurella. They play more like P&P than Enzo does in my system, and that's how I want my midfield to go. Even if I get a Lavia there, it's going to be the same. You know what I mean? Why didn't you
what I was saying start of the season, I was like, listen, this guy looks way too comfortable and way too casual for someone that's not picking up results. You know, he kept talking about the season and just doing things as if he had all the time in the world. And I was even saying it from summer. I said, yo, this guy's looking way too comfortable at the minute, you know, talking about it's a process and this, that. But then at the start of the season, when we had the interview that came out, when he's sitting there in the tracksuit, you know, doing up Phil Mitchell and Grant Mitchell, you know what I'm saying? He was talking a lot, saying how, yeah, we're a young team, but Chelsea's all about winning now and we must win now and we must get results now. But then a few weeks later, when he's not picking up results from his own doing, by the way, Because we've all said it, he was digging his own grave. And when a lot of people were saying Poch out start of the season, as much as I wanted him in, there was nothing I could say to defend him because I could clearly see the wrongdoings that he was doing. But for me, it was just a little bit too early. Do you know what I'm saying? So end of the day, he's just waffling, man. Like Go Getter said here, man. He's waffling, man. Because end of the day, you've had a lot of games. You've had a lot of time to change things. You've chosen not to do it. You've decided to play ping pong, like control football. You know what I'm saying?
Thing, though, he undoes the praise a little bit with the comments after the game. Why not just focus on the game and say, yeah, we done this because it'd been easy, wouldn't it, Don? If you just come out and said, actually, I done this because of the situation we currently have. We have 14 injuries and stuff like that. We have loads of injuries in midfield. I decided to invert. Just focus on that. Take the attention away of why you've done it, and just focus on or why you changed something to it and why you've done it. Just focus on that. But he does it part of the praise that we give him with these comments. It's like, oh yeah, we want him to do it. Why didn't you do it then? Well, we would have been happy for you to do it. I mean, don't start these Enzo conversations on the terrace. We do not start these Enzo conversations anywhere. It's others that start them. We don't want to have this conversation. I don't really care whether Enzo stays or goes at this moment in time because these players haven't done anything for me as a team at this moment. So I'm not let's just say this. No, but the problem is, as a collective, this team has not done anything for me this season to back them. And certain individuals I will. I think Enzo's a good player, but the problem is he makes a rod for his own back with these comments. It's like just take the focus off yourself in terms of like any negative and stuff like that, and just say how good we played today. Stuff like that. It's like some of this fan base. Oh yeah, we played well because Enzo. Why not just focus on we played well and had a good result instead of like going who didn't play. You know, so we're saying that we don't want fully fit Reece James back then because Chalobah played so well at right back. Is that what we're saying? We don't want Gusto at right back because Chalobah played so well at right back. Do you know what I mean? Is that what we're saying now? Is that what we're saying? It's like it doesn't make any sense. Focus on the positive and stuff like that. And even the coach, focus on the positive. Oh yeah, it's worked so well. I'm so glad we decided to change anything. I noticed something. Cucurella can do that job. He's fantastic. Focus on Cucurella. Just focus on how good Cucurella has been. He's doing two jobs, essentially, doing a midfield and a left-back role. Focus on how good Badiashile is now started to do. Do you know what I mean? That we all said he was, or some of us said he was.
We're gonna start talking about the players now because, listen, this conversation about Poch, again, as much as he's doing well at the minute, it's just very annoying, like you said, because he's left it so late. But you've got Arama saying here, Don, we follow you. You said play Enzo and Caicedo close. We did that. It still don't work. And now you're saying Cuckoo intervention. Bro, we didn't play Enzo and Caicedo close to each other all season. Majority of this season, we had Enzo playing as a 10 at the beginning. Then you had Gallagher playing in the pivot with Caicedo. And even when you did play Enzo in the pivot with Caicedo, you still had him running off and leaving Caicedo. So leaving so much space in the midfield. You know, when you watch our games, like I've been saying, it's been a lack of control. It's been ping pong football. Start of the season, we were controlling the ball well. We were leaving most games with more possession than the other team. But when we came back from, I remember this because it was like for me, it was like a little, what do you want to call it, bro? Like it was the first international break when we came back, when we drew to Arsenal, when we came back here and we played Brentford at home. From there, we were shocking. That's when I started to see ping pong football and just shocking because we had Brentford, we had Newcastle,
that
was that hard set of fixtures that we had coming up, and that's when we just got bad, and then we got worse when Jackson went to AFCON as well. Do you know what I'm saying? But structurally, the problem has been Enzo and Caicedo have been playing like they hate each other. There's been so much space in between the midfield and the defense and even the attack as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Where it just hasn't been good for Enzo. Enzo's got legs, but they're not like Gallagher. He can't cover all this ground, you know, and that's one thing that Poch has been doing. He's been showing his weaknesses more than his strengths, and that's why people think Enzo's just a rubbish because he's been set up to fail most of the time. Do you know what I mean? And I've criticized Enzo when he's been set up correctly. I remember when we played Newcastle at home when we beat them just the other week. Enzo was poor on the ball. I remember Burnley away, he was poor on the ball. You know what I'm saying? I remember in the final against Liverpool, he was very nervous on the ball. So I'm more than happy to criticize Enzo. Enzo doesn't go off Scots free, but I just don't like it when people scapegoat him over everything, and then they don't want to see how the manager setting up the team. It's just too easy to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? But listen, let's move on. Let's move on to the players. Because
on a side note, we got 214 people here, but we've also got like over 100 people on Twitter. So if you want to come over to the YouTube, either on GNA TV or Chelsea Fans TV, and just hit a like, subscribe for Jem. You know what I mean? Building it back up now. There's a bit of a hiatus, but he's building it back up now. So let's just show the support for both channels as well. And over at Twitter, thank you for watching as well. But yeah, well, let's go into this game because I really want to talk about the players in this game.
Let's go into the game and big up Nomads. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to oversimplify it, but our uptick in form is mainly down to correct player profiling. Facts. Cuckoo inverting, Gallagher box to box, Trevor right centre back, Caicedo not isolated, wingers starting wide. Exactly. And that's exactly what happens, Nomad. We've been saying this. When you play players in positions where they're comfortable, listen, this is what happens. They will play better. The team will play better. We know these lot are not world class, but as a bare minimum for professional footballer, you want to be put in a system where you know that you're being used correctly and you know that you can actually build some chemistry and cohesion with your teammates. And that's what we're seeing at the minute. We went to Villa the other week, Andrew. Villa, they beat Man City at home. They beat Arsenal at home. And now that's 2 games in a row at Villa Park where we've beaten them and we've been a better team comfortably. Actually, no, we didn't beat them. Sorry, we drew with them.
So we were better than them.
It felt like a win. Yeah, we were better than them. Sorry.
We should have won. No, we should have won. That's what we should have won.
That was a foul. Badiashile.
No, I'm talking about Palmer's miss.
Oh, yeah.
We should have won.
Yeah, Palmer should have finished that. And then we followed that up with the performance against who was it that we played after that? After Villa.
No, it was Arsenal, wasn't it? No, Arsenal was after the cup. No, Arsenal was after City.
Arsenal was after Everton.
Was it Spurs, right? It was Spurs. It was Spurs, right?
Yeah, Spurs. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we beat Spurs after that. Again, we controlled the game off the ball in the second half, and in the first half we controlled the game on the ball as well. You know what I'm saying? Very good goals there as well. And then yesterday, fluid football. You know what I mean? So there's so many players that we can talk about, man. Because yesterday, for me, performances galore. You know, let's go from back to front, man. Let's talk about Badiashile first, Andrew, because listen, this is a player that big up Nomad and obviously Jem. They've been criticizing him a lot this season, and so have I, to be fair, and rightly so, because he hasn't been the player that we were seeing last season, you know. And there's many reasons for that. The fact that he's obviously come back from injury, he needs to build a little bit of confidence, constantly chopping and changing between centre back pairings. That's not something you need to be like you can be doing, bro, because if you look at all the teams we're up against, right? Arsenal, Gabriel and Saliba, they start all the games. Man City, sometimes they change, to be fair, Pep Roulette, but most of the time it's the same pairing at the back, you know. United, obviously, they've had a lot of injuries, so that's a little bit different. Liverpool, they tend to have the same back pairing. You need to have that relationship from the back to the front, and the only way you're going to have that is if you don't chop and change. And Badiashile hasn't had enough opportunities to like play and constantly start games because of injury, because of Poch changing things. Obviously, like I said, he came back from injury and whatnot. And like I said, for me, the system hasn't helped him. I was speaking to Jem and that in the group chat the other week about this because Jem was like, oh, you know, I'm not too sure about him. And he was feeling a little bit skeptical, which is fair enough because, like I said, we didn't see a lot last season. And this year, he hasn't been good. But I said, listen, it's a similar sort of thing as Enzo. He's a technical player. As much as he plays at the back, Badiashile likes having passing options because the way he plays out from the back is very good. And again, yesterday, he was showing that passing range from the back. He just punches it in. Do you know what I mean? But when you're playing a team where there's a lot of space, a lot of holes, he's looking around and he just looks like a heavy guy. Then he ends up giving the ball away under no pressure because he's looking around and there's no options, you know? Yeah. When there's no one around him, like Cucurella, because right now what I'm seeing him do is getting touch tight to the opposition. He's getting really, really tight on them and not giving them any space. And the reason why he's feeling confident to do that is because Cucurella's right next to him. So even if he doesn't get the ball, Cucurella can help him. Or Silva can help him because we're playing in a back three when we're on the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a few things that have changed in the shape that are actually allowing Badiashile to play like the Badiashile that he was last year because he's feeling a lot more comfortable. But what did you think of his performance yesterday, man?
Let's go. Last 2 performances, one without Thiago Silva and one with Thiago Silva. Like you said, I think the inclusion of Cucurella really helps him. In terms of there's a bit of extra protection there as well. Caicedo dropping a bit as well allowed that. There's more protection there. He looked confident. He's very aggressive aggressive last 2 games. Stepping up, not dropping that much back. He's stopping attacks and then feeding the ball to either Cucurella or Caicedo or someone like that. And this is a Badiashile that we were talking about last season, even under Potter. Even with, you know, people can say, well, Thiago Silva said, it doesn't matter. He was still there. The bad Badiashile was the one against Arsenal when he was giving away the ball all the time because like the midfield wasn't there. And he really has... The problem, like you've brought it up, he had a big injury at the end of last season, came into this season. And Poch then picked him. I think first game was Blackburn in the League Cup, where ironically he scored, and then we didn't see him for like 4 weeks, and then he dropped him in for a whole 90 minutes performance away at Newcastle after having like no minutes whatsoever. He didn't build up his minutes, so this season his minutes haven't built up. He's been dropped in literally the deep end like that and stuff. But no, this is the Badiashile we were seeing at the end of last season. What he needs is a bit of luck of not getting injuries. That's what he needs, because I think he can really, really do a good job. Now, yesterday and Thursday, he was excellent. His passing was good. His tackling was good.
On his passing there, look, Badiashile yesterday registered more successful passes, 43 out of 46. So this guy's got some really accurate passes. Yeah,
he was getting away.
More successful interceptions than any other player for either Chelsea or West Ham. And those interceptions show how aggressive he is, because in order to intercept, you need to anticipate the danger. You need to anticipate where the ball's going to get played. And again, you need to be aggressive. And the fact that he's won four the most interceptions there was very clear from what I was watching.
Did you notice the last 2 games especially? The defenders are getting the ball away quicker as well. There's no holding the ball. It's very fast. So we're actually using our pace in the team very fast. They're just giving away the ball. None of it's like hardly any like long balls, like hopeful like long balls over the top that aren't going to go anywhere. Obviously, there are some that do go somewhere. That's fine. But they're shifting the ball to wherever it is. They're backwards, forwards, whatever it is. They're shifting the ball quicker. There's not a lot of hanging around waiting. Even Thiago Silva was doing a lot quicker. Do you know what I mean? It's that's what helps as well, because we're starting.
Did you see that? Silva, there was one bit where he got the ball and he just played it first time back into the midfield. Yeah. I think we ended up scoring from it. It was a good move. Yeah. That was beautiful to see, because one of the things that I used to say about Silva start of the season is he takes a little bit too long on the ball. Yeah, a little bit too long on the ball, you know. But yesterday, again, he was good, man. The way he was building up from the back, it was really nice to watch. I know, Mad. I know. Don started with Badia and Badiashile are not even back to front with Petrovic. Okay, let's go back to Petrovic then, innit? Because what it is, I'm trying to get in some key players at the minute, because I've got to shoot in a bit. Like I said, I'm going on midday live in a bit, so I'll stay on for like an extra 10 minutes or so. Yeah, but Petrovic, what did you think of his performance, Andrew, yesterday?
I didn't think he was troubled that much, but then he did obviously flap at that. I don't know what he was doing, and when they hit the bar the second time in the first half. So he was fortunate there. Apart from that, I don't think he was tested yesterday. I think he had a very quiet game. And if I was giving him a number, I'd probably give him a 6, like that. Because
I mean, they
didn't trouble us. I mean, his kicking was faster as well from out the back as well. Unless like we didn't like do from goal kicks a lot where we're like going like this. He got the ball away. He distributed it quicker for me yesterday, throwing it out as well, which is good, because obviously I think his kicking is probably the weakest part of his game for me, and his distribution. So yeah, he did a solid. They didn't test him, which I thought was. I don't know about you, Don. Side note, I was expecting, because for me, in my history of Spurs, I always expect us to slap Spurs at Stamford Bridge. I just do. So not a real big thing that we beat them. But I expected more from West Ham. Where was this West Ham that drew 2-2 with Liverpool a few weeks ago? Do you know what I mean? Where was, and they've got good players to actually cause us a lot of damage. And I was expecting a tougher play against them, but they rarely shot and tested Petrovic, even when they got in the box. They rarely. I know they hit the bar.
People were saying, West Ham have checked out. They're on the beach and whatnot. I think they checked out later on in the game. But like we've seen a million and one times, this season. We've played teams like a West Ham where we're just too laxy-daisy. They end up scoring, and now we're chasing the game. That's what's been happening to us this season. We chase games, or we score first, straight after they score. Because remember that first goal we scored? They hit the bar straight after we scored the first goal.
They did straight after, straight after.
So that's the luck that we've been getting. But like I said earlier, we had our hands on their neck, and we didn't want to take them off. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think that fourth goal right at the start of the second half really knocked them. I didn't think they were going to get back in the game, but it's like when they went, we're done. There's no point. we don't need to overexert ourselves or do anything for the next 40
what
minutes.
I thought yesterday as well, that was really interesting, and again, shows how fluid the team's playing at the minute, how everyone's playing as a team, You can see the stat here. So 4 Chelsea players created 2 chances for their teammates inside the first 45 minutes against West Ham. So first time Chelsea have recorded this inside the first 45. So again, it goes to show, bro. This was our best game. This was actually our best performance for me. Yeah. Right? Gallagher created 3 chances. Madueke created 3 chances. Cole Palmer created 2 chances. Mudryk, who everyone likes to slander, created 2 chances. Thiago Silva even created a chance there as well. That was for Madueke's goal, innit? That header that he scored. Yeah, that came from Silva. Again, it just goes to show that right now we're playing as a team. We're not having to depend on Cole Palmer, and that's basically what it's been. Silva and Silva, let's talk about them as a pairing, because I thought they were quite good. What did you think of their performances, man?
Yeah, very controlled. Like I said, I didn't even notice Antonio was on the pitch until the second half. Deep into the second half, it wasn't utilised. I know Bowen got in a bit. I know Kudus got in like several good positions, but they never took advantage of that. And there was only a few bits where they could take advantage. I thought it was all controlled, and I really do think the inversion of Cucurella helps the defenders. It just does. And Caicedo's there as well. Just that energy and stuff. It's just that because the midfield was pressing pressing so much and controlling the ball, and that, you know, Thiago Silva didn't have to do much. Even Badiashile was stepping up a bit more. Do you know what I mean? So Thiago Silva just stay there and relax.
Do you know why that was? Do you know why that was? It was because of this guy. Yeah, it was because of my brother. Yeah, we call this one Sideshow Mark. Yeah, Sideshow Cucurella. Yeah, Mark Cucurella registered more successful tackles, 5 out of 8, than any other player for either Chelsea or West Ham United. Yeah. Every dead ball that was coming in, Andrew. Yeah, everything that was coming back into the midfield, the guy was just collecting it and sweeping it. Collecting it and sweeping it. You know, Kampe will take it away. The bailiffs, when they come collect. That's what he came yesterday. He came to collect. Yeah. All the loose balls. I'm seeing this guy just sweeping it up. The way he was helping the ball, the game just tick. Listen, what did you think of this guy's performance, man? Because for me, again, another brilliant performance, man. Going to left back when we're off the ball, he was good in terms of winning the ball back. There was a few times when, you know, Bowen was giving him a few problems on that side. But one thing about him is very tenacious. If someone skips past him, he doesn't just let them run off. He will chase them again, and he'll just be a problem. You know what I'm saying? He'll put them off the game. So if they whip it in, he'll get a block on it, or, you know, they'll just decide to go back because they can see that he's recovered his run. Do you know what I'm saying? And again, in the midfield, composed, being that extra body for us, allowing Gallagher to press a bit further up and play with Palmer. What did you think of his performance yesterday, man?
Last couple of games, you notice how he's not as rash as he once was. You know, when he used to run in like a headless chicken and just miss the ball or something like that. There's other occasions where he does do it, but he's a lot less rash for me. He's timing his tackles right. He's passing it to the right people. I don't care which direction it is, as long as it goes to a Chelsea player. I really don't care. Stuff like that. He's very good. He's covering 2 positions, if we're being honest, right? He's doing a midfield and he's doing a left back at times, and he's not being that exposed in either position. He's really playing well, and for me, he's like, I wouldn't have sold him anyway. But for me, if this is the type of play he can do, even if it's Poch or another manager coming in, you want to keep a guy like this in your squad. This is what we're talking about. When I talk about Pep Guardiola's like squad, what they are they're all nearly hybrid players, which means they can play in multiple positions, and that's where football is at this moment in time.
Pep wanted him. Remember, they tried to bid for him, and we outbidded them. They were like, "No, we're not going to go that high."
Yeah, because he could play at probably left centre back or something like that for them, and left back and stuff like that.
That's where remember Potter used him there for us a few times.
Or midfield. We're seeing he can play midfield. Pep might have used him in midfield. Do you know what I mean? So he can play there. That's what we need. We need hybrid players that can do a lot of positions. So he's been excellent yesterday. And everyone's going, oh, yeah, but he doesn't. Everyone goes like, I've seen like rival fans like go, oh, he doesn't attack. He doesn't do this. It's like, he's not there to do that. He's not there to do that. He's not there. Our fullbacks, well, maybe minus Reece James if he does come back. Our fullbacks, Gusto and Cucurella, aren't really there to do that attacking. They're really to do the defending more than the actual attacking itself. So the attacking stats will be very low, but their defensive stats will be very high. That's their first job. That's their first job. That's what it is there to do. We're not there. Our side isn't built like it's not Thomas Tuchel with the wing backs where they are there to create. We have got actual traditional fullbacks that are there to defend because we've got others that can attack and stuff like that. Yeah, excellent performance.
Big up Lama. I'm just gonna call you Lama. WKD Lama. I was surprised he was pressing on the right wing. Dude was like the energizer buddy, bro. He was. Listen, if I check this guy's heat map, it's gonna be a madness. Yeah, let me even type this in. Yeah, Cucurella heat map. let's see what comes up here. Yeah. For this one, for the game yesterday, because yeah, you're right, bro. There was one point yesterday where I was seeing him at right wing. I said, wow, this guy has actually just got the lungs. He's got the lungs as well, man. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, when he's playing in midfield as well, he just looks so comfortable. He just looks so comfortable because he's actually good on the ball. Do you know what I'm saying?
He's a good passer.
So comfortable going into that position.
Yeah, he's a very good passer. And, you know, it doesn't matter where it is. He's finding whoever, whether he has to go backwards at start again, it doesn't matter. As long as we're keeping the ball flowing, we're fine. I'd rather that than giving away the ball and having to retrieve it and stuff like that. It's wasted energy in my mind like that. I don't mind if it's further up the pitch, you're giving away the ball. But not in here.
Can you see that there, yeah? That's the heat map there. That's the game yesterday. I don't know why it's not blowing up here. But yeah, you can clearly see. Look at that. He was everywhere. He's there. That's there when he's playing left back, going into the midfield, going further up as well. He was helping out a lot over there. You can see him over here. He was even here at one point. You know what I mean? He was everywhere. He was everywhere yesterday, man. I'm happy, man. I'm happy because, you know, when there was a lot of people last season slandering him, saying, you know, he's a rubbish player and this, that, I said, yo, this guy was good at Brighton. And when I saw that Man City were going to get him, I was actually quite jealous. I was thinking, this is a guy that he actually created more chances than Reece James and Ben Chilwell, both of them, before he left Brighton, right? I used to see him whipping in so many balls. You know how people say he can't overlap? I was seeing him doing that at Brighton. That's how he created a lot of chances for them. You know what I mean? So last season, he came into a mess. He actually had tonsillitis as well, so he was hospitalized for a bit. He lost some weight. He just didn't look like the same player. When I'd watch him, he just looked like a guy that wasn't confident. But then he gave us a performance against Dortmund, which is like, yo, this is what I can actually do if I'm comfortable and I'm playing quite well. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, when I saw the reports early on in the season about Chilwell was going to get moved on, Cucurella was going to get moved on before Chilwell, I couldn't believe it. I honestly couldn't believe it. And I kept saying at the time, even before he got inverted, I said, there's no way we should be selling Cucurella before Chilwell. Chilwell has to go because he's on 200k a week. He can't stay fit, and he's just not good enough. This guy, when he leaves the club, he's gonna go to a worse club than us. Cucurella could actually leave, and a club could take a chance on him. To be honest with you, because he's good on the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Made me so angry when they signed Chilwell to a new contract last year, which made me angry when they signed a contract extension. Chilwell was like, "What was doing it?"
United wanted Cucurella, and if he went to United, they might have been inverting this guy, and it would have been a headache for us because they've got no control in that midfield. So we would have been watching our player improving them. You know what I mean? And right now we've gone above them. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Going into the midfield.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, go on, bro.
No, I said you're right. I mean, someone's put in the chat, the board still want to sell him. I think that'd be mad. I think that'd be madness if you're going to sell him and like keep Chilwell as an option. I don't even care. Like, I think Chilwell's only been kept for the homegrown core now. I really do, because I don't know what else he offers. You know, I know he's a good passer and stuff like that, occasionally, but he can't defend. He cannot defend. He cannot defend at all. Bro, and we saw it. He's got no awareness.
I'll be honest with you, the guy don't even really. When I watch him nowadays, he just looks so off it, Andrew. Like, just so off it. He just looks like the odd one out, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? The quality just isn't there. He's a classic fullback, where you're just up and down. Do you know what I'm saying? But like you've said, defensively, he's not good. Like, people just skip past him. And offensively as well, you know, his shooting hasn't really improved. It's gotten worse, if anything.
He's worse since the injuries. He's worse.
Everything's got worse. Yeah, everything's got worse. I'm trying to find the link to send to.
I've already sent it to. Yeah, I sent it in the group chat.
All right, yeah. Say less. Yeah. So we'll put him in there. But going into the midfield, man, Caicedo. Let's talk about Mr. Octopus, Caicedo.
Yeah.
What did you think? What did you think of Moyes yesterday, man? What did you think of his performance yesterday, man?
Another solid, good performance. And you know, he's now not even being rash with the tackles. The tackles are timed so perfectly now, and the interceptions are timed perfectly. I'm not even going to bring up the other thing because the other player's not there. Let's talk about Caicedo. Excellent passing, excellent tracking back, excellent tackling, excellent interceptions. Just excellent. He's showing why we spent so much money on him. Do you know what I mean? He's showing why. He's now showing all these hateful Liverpool fans that if they had him right now, they'll still be in a title race. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. That's what he's showing right now. And has the inclusion of Cucurella helped? Absolutely has it helped him. Absolutely, because he's not there alone doing the defensive work. Do you know what I mean? He's allowed to go up a bit more. In fact, he's starting more attacks than he's actually, stopping them. If we're really thinking about it, because of the extra inclusion of Cucurella, Gallagher's around there as well. So he really is playing very, very well. Another point of why didn't Poch do this sooner so we could get more praise than Caicedo sooner?
And this is what I'm saying. At the minute, he's playing more of a box to box.
Yes.
I'm not a coach, but I could see it from the beginning. I said from day one, this guy's going to be an 8 for us. And when you actually listen to him as well, he speaks about how Kante is his idol. He wants to replicate what Kante does. Kante wasn't a DM. Kante was a box to box.
He was
people think that Kante was a DM are crazy. He was a box to box player, but he had the legs and the lungs to just run around and basically help us defend as well. That was the thing with him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's definitely an 8. And his manager, before he actually joined Brighton, the manager that managed him in Ecuador spoke about this, how he used to play as an 8 in Ecuador, and he thinks that's his best position, playing for them as an 8.
Have you seen the way he plays for Ecuador? Have you seen the way he plays? Have you ever seen Caicedo play for Ecuador?
Yeah, he plays as an 8 for them. He plays as an 8.
Yeah,
and like in Ecuador, he played as an 8, and then obviously when he went to Brighton, De Zerbi used him in a pivot, which helped him because he had players closer to him. But listen, let's go through some of these stats here, man. Caicedo registered more successful passes, so 94 out of 102, more successful take-ons, so 4 out of 4, and more successful long balls, 5 out of 6, than any other Chelsea player against West Ham United. And again, it's spot on. It backs up what your eyes were showing you yesterday, because he was just running through the midfield yesterday. Yeah, it reminded me of what Ruben used to do for us. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, where he used to just carry the ball from deep and just carry it, and just pop it off. Do you know what I'm saying? And that assist as well for the 4th goal, bro. Do you know what I mean? To just pop it like that, it was nice. And people ask all the time, like, if you play Caicedo, Enzo, and Lavia in midfield, where's the creativity coming from? And I'm like, bro, you lot are really underrating how good Enzo's passing is in terms of his chance creation. And Caicedo as well, when he's in that final third, I've seen him make some good passes, the pass before the pass, or that final pass, and then someone scuffs it. Do you know what I'm saying? Lavia's passing is underrated as well. So I don't think we'd have a creativity like big issue if we do play a 4-3-3 later on with Lavia in that lone 6, and you've got Caicedo and Enzo in front of him. But again, Caicedo, these rivals are pretty quiet at the minute. They're not really saying much, and that just goes to show that he's doing well. But the moment that he decides to have a performance like what he did against West Ham, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. But it's good. I'm actually glad that he performed like this yesterday, because he had a shocking debut against West Ham. Absolutely shocking debut against West Ham. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's really good that
he wasn't fit. He wasn't fit though. He wasn't fit. That's the problem. Poch put him in. He wasn't even fit. I think he played like one half of a pre-season game or something like that for that whole season. Like
that's true.
He wasn't fit. You could tell, and he gave away that. Remember, he gave away that penalty as well. You're like the worst debuts ever.
Yeah, you get me. So listen, it was good. It was good get back from him. Yeah. But who else is in the midfield? Yeah, Gallagher. Let's move on to man like Excel Bully. Yeah. Excel Bully, another good performance yesterday. What did you think of Connor yesterday, man?
Yeah, very good. Very, very. Listen, very good. Done his job. Got his goal. Again, it's something that it's ironic. I think Poch has actually, for the most part, managed to. There are still weaknesses in his game. He's not the best player at all, but he's really tried to hide them as much as he can. And yesterday he did what he does best. He's up there pressing, making West Ham make mistakes, tackling. His tackling could improve. He does give away a lot of fouls. He should have really more. Ironically, I think he should have more bookings than even Caicedo and Nicholas Jackson have got this year. So it's one of those. Yeah, took his goal very, very well. Should have scored 2 actually, because remember he hit the bar from Palmer's cross. So should have had 2. But yeah, another solid performance yesterday. And this is the type of thing Gallagher's not everyone's favorite cup of tea, but it's a point where I just don't. If he's playing, I've just accepted he's playing, right? I think what you have to do is you have to accept he's playing, but you have to. The Poch has to put him in the right area, and it's in that middle bit. He's not a 10 because Palmer's there. He's just floating around. He's been a nuisance. He's been a horrible player for us, and I like that because he's causing a lot of disturbance. Let him do that. Don't let him overthink stuff like, he has to do this. Just say to him, break up play, pass it to whoever, and try and get in the box. Just leave him like that. Don't let him be creative and stuff like that because he can't do that. He just cannot. So let him do that. There's more displays like this, and then the debate about him whether he's only going to go if he doesn't sign a new contract. That's the only thing, right? That's the only thing in my mind. If he doesn't sign a new contract, he's definitely going. But that's the only thing. But yeah, on yesterday's performance, very good. And yeah, I mean, we're talking about like his stats and everything. Certain £70 million midfielders up north, just aren't clicking.
I'm saying Hungarian Steven Gerrard. Yeah, yesterday Gallagher registered 100% on his successful attacking third passes, the 20 out of 20 for Chelsea against West Ham. And again, that's because he's closer to goal. Gallagher when he's in the pivot, it scares me. But with Cucurella inverting, he's not really in that pivot as much. When we're on the ball, he's attacking a lot more, and he's not leaving Caicedo by himself because Cucurella is helping there. But again, like I said, these are the sort of performances where people get off your back. Gallagher, if you're adding goals to your game, like what you were doing against for Palace when you were there on loan, it's a substitute for chance creation because he's not the worst at creating chances for people, but there's times where he breaks down our attacks way too much. There's a simple option right there. He'll go to the harder option, or he'll get in between the lines and he'll slip everywhere. That's my problem with him. You know what I'm saying? I think there's better players on the ball than him. But if he plays like yesterday more consistently, there'll be less people on his back, man. But listen, big up Xavi. We saying Xavi, bro.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you, bro.
Yeah.
What did you think of Gallagher yesterday?
Nah, he was good, bro. But like, I think this is the thing we've always been saying, like you and me, Don, when you like put players in a position to succeed, even like average players, they're gonna end up looking good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But if you do the opposite now, good players, you're gonna make them look bad. So, like in a general consensus, like what Poch has been doing before, it took him to all the way to game week, to invert Cucurella. A number of our players are looking below par. Some, yes, are just individuals, but when it's like more than like 5 players performing below their like what they're capable of, then you got to look at the manager. So
facts.
I'm thinking we finally setting up in a system where players are flourishing. You're seeing a better Badiashile. I feel like Caicedo's form is down to him because I just feel like he's a good player as well. But this is also helping him excel, making him look better. You know what I mean?
He just looks a lot more confident. Like when you look at him now,
like I feel like a lot of our
in himself. You know what I'm saying?
I think the thing is, a lot of our players just know their role. They know their role, and this is what you take away the confusion, and they know what they're doing and what they're on the field for, and now they can, do like look at Nani, bro. I feel like Nani knows exactly what
on to him. Let's move on to him, bro. What did you think of his performance yesterday?
Nah, like
let's do this.
Let's do this.
Yesterday, I actually thought he was my man of the. Jackson is close, but I feel like overall, Nani has been my man of the match yesterday, and he's been good for the past 3-4 games now. Like, you know what I mean? I think yesterday against Villa, okay, he slipped up for the goal, but if it wasn't for him in that second half, I think we wouldn't come back. Tottenham, like his off the ball work, and Nani is. Let's be honest. I think he's our best 1v1 dribbler in terms of beating his man.
He is,
and like
Xavi, one of the best in the league at it, by the way. One of the best in the league. And I'll keep saying this, whether people like it or not, it's a fact, bro. Go watch our games, go watch him, and go check the stats. They back up what the eye test is showing. He is one of the best in the league at taking on his man 1v1. It's a fact, bro.
Yeah. And so we, like Emerson Royale, I was like, this guy can't defend. Go at him. He was skin indignant. And we knew Emerson from Chelsea. He was good with the offensive phase of the ball, but defensively he was not so good. And you see, like, he caught Emerson sleeping a lot. Like, you know what I mean? He was doing what he had to do, and now he's getting better in the functions of a team where he's helping out his fullback. You know what I mean? And then he's going and taking on his man. He's also creating. He's also cutting in and shooting. This is what you see as a developing as a youngster. This is the progression that you see. Like, to tip it all off, that pass to Jackson. I don't know whether or not it's because he got his goal, but the unselfish.
He had Sterling on his mind going, I ain't gonna mess this up. I'm gonna pass it. I'm not gonna do this.
Nah, Nani was good, man. Like I it's one of those players where he gets on the ball, I feel like something's gonna happen. Like, yes, he has to improve his decision making, which I feel like it's improving in some sense. Like, for example, right? I know nobody got on the end of that cross across the box on his right foot. But like in Villa, he tried to take that right foot shot and go, right? But this game, he tried to roll the ball across on his right foot. But like nobody was there to tap it in.
I just think he's been given. I just think he's been given a run in the team. That's all we've ever asked. You know what I mean? Whether the injuries have played into it, I don't care at this moment in time. But you need to give players a run in a team to see what they can do. He already has a good relationship with Cole Palmer in the under-21s.
Yep.
In England. No, we've already seen that
earlier as well. Let me bring up that comment.
We've already seen it. So it's just there. It's just no matter, you can't give like a full 11 game after game run. It doesn't happen nowadays. But if you have a core 7 or 8, then they can any changes you make, it won't be that affected. Like you said, Sabby, I think he's doing well on both ends, defensive, because we don't have a natural right back. I know Gusto came back yesterday, so that might ease a bit in the last 3 games, but he's doing well covering. He did well on Thursday, helping out Happy Gilchrist against Son. He's just doing well. That's all it is. He got his goal, very good goal, and his awareness for I know it's like a tapping for Jackson in the end, but we were 3-0. He could easily have been selfish and shot. Do you know what I mean? He could easily have done that. So, but just give him a run. Like whatever you think of Mudryk as well, just give him a run. Let them either excel or let them drown. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's as simple as that.
As much as again, it goes back to the point that we've spoken about all season. As much as these guys are not Chelsea level at the minute, right? They've got the potential to be. People keep running away from the reality of the situation. These lot have been signed by Chelsea. Yeah, we can't keep complaining and moaning. Noni's not good enough. Mudryk's not good enough. They're our problem. We need to make sure that we're trying to help them. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, Madueke should have been getting way more minutes from early. Way more minutes. I know start of the season, he had a few problems off field. Like he got caught in the in Libertine. Yeah, this guy went clubbing and whatnot. He had a few injuries at the start of the season. His mentality was all over the place. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was his
post-match interview.
After yesterday.
Yeah, he actually said Pochettino told him like when you help your team, you come back, you track back. And
I see that. Let me try to bring it up. Because I was actually
if we're just seeing where he's come from in the last few weeks, the picture gate from the FA Cup semi-final and then the performance against Arsenal, it's really turned around the next 3 games. He's really had a massive influence, which I like, because he could have easily gone into a shell as a young player and just like told everyone to F off essentially after that picture thing really annoyed me from our fans, like building up like it was something rotten and stuff like that. But like I said, give Poch, he's put him in, but should have done it earlier, bro. should have done it earlier. This whole thing we're getting back to. Should have done it earlier.
And the thing that I really like about Noni as well, like he's improving. Like Altek has said here, he's improved his tracking back. Yeah, I think. Listen, for me, it's more of a mentality thing, man. These guys are young, you know, and these lot are being trained by a militant manager who should be helping their fitness. So when I'm seeing Noni not trying to work hard, I'm looking at it more like it's a childish thing rather than he can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because clearly he can do it when he wants to.
He said he was being
about it. And like you said, Xavi, I'm trying to find the quote. Yeah, Poch said he's going to improve his game, and it definitely is. You know, for me, this is a rare profile that you don't really get in football anymore. These wingers these days just want to keep inverting. They want to take on their man. This is a throwback winger. Yeah, this is what I like in my wingers. As a bare minimum, as a winger, you need to be able to take on your man. Yeah, as much as you can. That's a bare minimum. Everything else will follow after that. The end product, you can improve on that. But if you can't do the bare minimum as a winger, same thing as a striker, you need to be able to finish. For me as a winger, you need to be able to take on your man. And he can do that. So that's a good building.
And he's doing it on the opposite side as well. He's not even doing it on his natural left side. He's doing it on his opposite side. So
I think it's better on the right because he can actually cut in.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's unnatural to him because I don't know how good. I think his right foot is good because he scored a banger against Luton.
Yeah,
I know he scored it with his right foot, so I think it's better than what he just needs to trust it more. That's what he needs
But
to do.
you're harder to defend when you go both sides. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
I
you can
think
go
he
to the
can
byline.
I think
You know what I mean?
I think he can use both feet very well. Obviously, his left is stronger, but I think he can use his right because we've seen it. I would like
And the
him
thing
in
is, yeah,
listen. Go on.
people talk a lot. People talk a lot about his end product and whatnot. And for me, last season, his end product was bad. Like he would skip past the player and then he would just kick it into the net.
That Bournemouth game.
Yeah, like last season, I was looking at him and thinking, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be I've got time. I even tweeted last season saying I've got a lot of time for Madueke because I could clearly see the quality there. But this season, bro, let's just talk through some of the goals he scored. Like you've said, Andrew, against Luton, banger against Luton, banger against Sheffield, top goal against Leicester. Yeah, the other week against Villa as well. That was a very good finish. That's not an easy finish to finish it like that.
Yeah,
because some guys will just panic and fluff it over. He kept his body, you know, he kept his foot over the ball. And he just bended it around the keeper. That's not an easy finish, you know. Yeah. And then yesterday as well, you know, to anticipate that, to score a header, it was good. And before that, he just kept popping it off. And what I really liked about it as well is he was shooting from outside the box. From outside the box. We don't have enough players.
That was a good move. That was the end of a good move because it went from the right to it went from the left from Mudryk and he played it inside, right on the edge. It was right in his path, and he just hit it over like that. It wasn't like very high. It was over. It cleared the bar, but it wasn't like so over where you go, oh my god. Like exactly. Like that. It was like more like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I want to see my players doing, especially my attackers. Have a shot. You never know. The keeper might just parry it out, and Jackson's right there, or Gallagher's right there, or Palmer's right there. Do you know what I'm saying? It might get a deflection. You know, the keeper might just do something mad like Onana was doing at the start of the season. You never know unless you shoot. Do you know what I mean? That gives you more confidence to keep attacking because you're looking threatening. You know what I'm saying? So that was really good from him, man. The pressure that he was actually bringing to the attack. So he just needs to carry on. He needs to carry on, man, because we've got some favorable fixtures coming up. So I expect him to be able to cook these fullbacks that he's going to be coming up against. Do you know what I'm saying? But Palmer, let's move on to Palmer before I got a dip, man. I know we haven't really spoken much about the goals. We can quickly speak about that as well. Andrew, I'll let you talk about the goals and that when I go. But Palmer, guys, what did you guys think of his performance yesterday, man?
I think even though he scored yesterday, I've seen him play better the last two games. In the last two games, I don't know if he's still a bit ill and he's still not 100% because remember he missed the Arsenal game.
I think he's hurt.
Oh, you think he's hurt? I don't think he's hurt.
Look at his left leg. Look at that bandage on his left leg.
No, I think it's to do. Maybe it's that, but I think it's to do with him being ill as well. If that's true, because his energy levels sometimes. But even that, he still had a very good game. Even though I've seen him play better, he scored. Obviously, created a few chances. Created that chance for Gallagher when he just. It was Emerson where he just skinned him on that right side. Where he just left. That's something underrated on Palmer. The way he can actually accelerate with the ball like that. That very few players do that nowadays. But yeah, he added another goal. Could have had maybe another key pass for the Gallagher goal as well. So yeah, I mean, he's I just read like yesterday. For us, he's got 37 GNA in 43 games. I mean, it's not like him. He's not like this player at all. But we're talking that is peak Lampard numbers. Do you know what I mean? Like an 09-010 season and stuff like that, where he got like 20+ league goals and everything else. He's not Lampard for anyone says anything, but that is peak Lampard numbers. Now, what he has to do going on next season is when people double team him, that's the biggest. That's the reaction I need to see from him. But again, he's not. I like what you said, Don, earlier. He didn't play well. And we still. He didn't play. He played okay, but we played well. And Palmer, wasn't the main guy yesterday, or even the last two games. Do you know what I mean? That's what I like. That's what I want. I want him to. I don't want him always bailing us out. I want others stepping up and him being there as well. So excellent. Like 30 GNA in the league this season is unbelievable.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
I think that's the sign of to me. That's a sign of a top player because I'm not saying he's De Bruyne, right? I've seen De Bruyne ghost games, but then get the ball and unlock an assist to one of like Holland or something. And Palmer, even though he's played bad, Villa could have scored, right? Tottenham,
yes, he should have scored. Yeah, should have scored that.
But he made that chance for himself. Tottenham,
he did.
The bar. Yesterday got a goal and should have got 2 assists.
Yeah, definitely Gallagher's one.
Do you know how crazy this is as well? Do you know how crazy this is? Yeah. Look at this as well. only 2 players have been directly involved in 30 plus
My
goals in
favorite
their
Chelsea player.
campaign for Chelsea. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, legend, yeah, and Cole Palmer. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you know
This
what he
guy
also did yesterday? Don, do you know what he did yesterday? Do you know what he did
Say
yesterday?
that again, bro.
Do you know what he did yesterday? He scored
Who?
16 league goals now at home. That's equal to Lampard in 09-10 and I think Drogba in 06-07 or something like that, or 09-10. He's equaled that.
It's crazy because I remember that season as if it was yesterday, Andrew.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I remember that as if it was yesterday. And I remember how Lampard was just bagging for fun.
He scored over 20. He scored like nearly 25 league goals as a midfielder. We were banging people like 7-0 and 6-0 and 8-0 and that season to win the double. That's what we're talking about here. Imagine if we had if we had a number 9, we'll move on to that in a bit. But if we had a consistent number 9 and Poch had done something like 10 games ago, I think this guy would be near 30 league goals. I'm telling you right now, I think he would, even with penalties. I don't care. Penalties count. Okay.
Bro, look at this. Most goals and assists by Premier League players across all competitions in 2023, 2024. Erling Haaland's on 42. Hold on, let me go back. What's happened there? It just disappeared, bruv. I think I clicked off of it. Oh, there we go. I'll go it back, yeah? So Erling Haaland's on 42. Ollie Watkins and Cole Palmer, 39, bro. Yeah? And then Salah, 38. And you know how people speak about Salah's numbers. This guy's beating Salah at the minute. Do you know? Right. And this is after playing with guys that just keep missing chance after chance. There's literally a 4.5 minute video of people missing chances that Palmer's plating up for them. You know, like you said here, Palmer is the 5th different Chelsea player to be directly involved in 30 plus goals in a single Premier League season. He's sitting with Hasselbank. He's sitting with Lampard. He's sitting with Drogba. He's sitting with Hazard. These are not joke men footballers, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? This is what he's doing at the minute.
These are legends of our club. These are legends of our club. That's what they are. Now, that's what I said to you about 5 minutes ago. Next season's even going to be more important for him because he's going to be definitely targeted. Targeted. And that's where we will have a conversation all the summer. That's where the recruitment will be so important.
He already gets, the thing is, he already gets targeted already, though. Like, he just, the way he plays, he gets out of it because he's very intelligent with his movement. Yeah, he gets in between the lines.
He doesn't stick to one position. He doesn't stick to one position.
He floats and he glides across the pitch. So it's not easy to mark him. You know what I'm saying? Because 1 second he's there, but then he'll rotate. Him and Madueke, 1 second he's playing right wing. Madueke's in between the lines. And then 1 second Palmer's back in between the lines. Then Madueke's there. They rotate really nicely.
Like Don.
All as well, bro. He's got the skill to get out of tight situations as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like yesterday.
A few times he took the ball off the defense as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up.
It was like that deep in midfield second half. It was like it's one of those. But you're right. It's very impressive. And what I liked about the last 2 performances, he's not been a main guy. He's still contributed, but he's not been a main guy, which I've liked. I've wanted that all season. I've wanted that. He shouldn't be carrying this team. It's embarrassing that he's carrying this team. That's what it is. Yeah. It's embarrassing. He's carrying the club.
Nah, facts, yeah. But listen, people, I've got to shoot because I've got to jump on Saeed's channel. Big up, Andrew, obviously. Big up Xavi as well. Got 286 people in the house, man. I wish I could have stayed till the end. But I hope you lot have enjoyed it so far. And obviously, Andrew, like I said, Andrew will finish off the stream. But bless up, people, man. Love.
Yeah, big up.
See you, man. So we'll go through the rest of the team. What do we think about Mudryk yesterday?
Oh man, hey, he's a polarizer.
About Mudryk,
I think
how he played.
To give my fair opinion, like people, I think go overboard, and when they be like, "Yo, he's completely shit." Like I think he done better now with the functions of a team. Yeah. Like when he kept his playing simple, because he's like normally the one like the past few games that has been losing it in like key positions. But yesterday he did his job. He was average, you know what I mean? He could have scored. His corners are good, you know. I give him credit. So it was a fair game for me.
Right. Sammy's obviously got a newborn, so he's doing the best job in the world at the moment, being a dad. So that's all good. Just to see, I'll just bring it up here. This is obviously Sofa's score. Sofa can't zoom in a bit more, but it says obviously 7.3 you got yesterday. I think Mudryk solidly over the last couple of games is actually doing more defensive work, obviously with Cucurella inverting. Now, some of his passes obviously still have to get better, but I just don't know if he's got. I'm still on the side of that. He's not got a long-term future at Stamford Bridge. Oh, and happy birthday to Cole Palmer today as well. He's 22. So, I mean, I don't know about anyone in the chat. If you think, if you think he's got any future or anything like that, I just don't. I'm just not sure, because my vision would be if we get a striker, I'm going to move Nicholas Jackson onto the left, who are playing free up there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move him over that way, because I just don't see Mudryk for me. Yeah, he had a couple of chances yesterday, and I think he created one. If I'm not 100% sure, but I just don't see him. I just don't. I'm sorry. I just don't know what you can do.
Andrew, you know what I mean?
I was just saying, because it's like, if we get a striker, I'd like to see Jackson on the left, like coming in like that. And I just don't see Mudryk. And it's like, well, would Mudryk be a good sub? And I'm thinking, I really think there's just something not there. Do you know what I mean? Like, in everything that he can do, I can't rely on this guy. And we're already like, we need people that can do things, that can come in right away or help support. So
I think the problem for me is, like, yes, you can use him as a sub, but he needs so much developing that he's only gonna benefit from game time. So that's where I think a loan comes in. You know what I mean? Because I think what the board paid for him, they're not just gonna give up on him easy, because they're gonna lose. You know what I mean? So that's the problem with me. And he's kind of like game specific, where, all right, if teams sit back and deep, he's kind of useless in that sense. But maybe spacing behind. I would sell Sterling.
I'd sell Sterling. It's just the problem is that it's wishing to sell Sterling and actually getting him sold at two different things altogether. He's on 350 or whatever it is, 300k a week. He wanted to come back to London. He's still got like 3 years left of the contract, I think, this summer. So it is wishful thinking. I mean, it is very much wishful thinking about that. It's one of those where you go, yeah, it's great. It's a great idea, but who's going to actually? But we'll talk about it in the summer. Sterling didn't even play yesterday, so there's not even really need to talk about him. So yeah, Mudryk did okay. 7.3, I thought was okay. But it's let's move on to the next guy, who for me, when this week got some. I was watching a video where someone said about, oh, he's the worst striker Chelsea have ever signed, and I was like, what?
That's over.
What are we talking about here? Do you know what I mean? That's just like, and then apparently Shevchenko wasn't a flop because he scored 1 goal in the FA Cup against Spurs. And it's like, what? What? This guy scored 4 league goals against Spurs. What are we talking about here? You know what I mean? It's like, Kesman, Morata, Higuain. He said Higuain's better than Jackson. I was like, what? What? Are we mad? That and it's ironic me saying that fat waster came for 6 months and did sweet.
Talking about the pundit. But I know what you're talking about now.
No. The Higuain, that fat waster came in. But it's like one of those. Like it's gonna be one of those. But
Jackson got 16 goals in his first season. Could have damn near well been
Nicholas
30.
Jackson's just exactly. Nicholas Jackson's just coming in. So what did we think of his overall performance yesterday?
I thought he was good yesterday.
Oh, Javi's on. Yeah, Javi, what did you think about his performance?
Am I lagging or you're lagging? Can you hear me?
I don't know. It might be me lagging. Yeah, I can hear you. It might be me lagging. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear this, but I think his performance was very good yesterday. He was actually clinical when he went through on goal. His hold-up play is good, like relieving pressure. Sometimes he'll lose it, but I feel like what the problem is with him is maintaining that composure in front of goal and finishing our composure in certain moments. That's our biggest problem with him. All the off the ball stuff, he does well. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why he's not like a complete waste, because the stuff he does off, like other than scoring goals, we just need him to be more clinical. And I feel like for his first season to get 13 goals non-penalty. Imagine taking penalties. It'd be like 15, 16, 17, like almost 20. Like first season is very good. You know what I mean? And then like everybody knows, like he just needs to get more clinical. Now, you know?
Yeah.
I think he was good yesterday. I think if it wasn't for Nani, he probably would have been in my second man of the match. You know what I mean? Him or Cucurella or Badiashile.
I agree.
This is the problem. When you play good like that, we have different man of the matches, because somebody could even say Caicedo was man of the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he's now on 22 GNA for the season. And since we bought him for like £32 million, I think he's for me, he's actually exceeded expectations by far. And like you said, he needs to improve on the most important things of being a forward, and that's for me is obviously finishing and decision making. But yesterday I thought he was very, very good. Yeah, he scored a tap in, no problem. But that one that was eventually called onside, we've seen him not do well all season with that, and that was a very accomplished finish. So he's a very good player. I mean, I said it yesterday on Casually FC. For me, if we're doing a list of players of the season, obviously Palmer's well ahead. There's no point. But Jackson for me is actually second. I picked Gusto as third, but Jackson for what he's done, I think we really missed him when he went to the AFCON. Since he's come back from the AFCON, and even then, since when he shaved his head, whatever you want to draw attention to, or whatever, I just think he is so good. I would love to see him with a striker, because I think he'll be even better with a striker. Whether it's an Osimhen, whether it's a Tony, I think he'll get more GNA with a striker, because there's someone else taking the defender's attention away. I really do. And there's someone up there to link up. He links up well with Palmer. He even links up well with Mudryk, to be fair, like that. So it's all good. And, you know, I really think 13 league goals. Someone who's not a natural number 9. 16 overall, 22 GNA overall. I think it's been an excellent debut season for him. Now, people are going to go, oh, yeah, well, Drogba, he's got the same goals as Drogba that season. That's fine. Drogba was injured that season, but we can balance it by saying that Nicholas Jackson went to AFCON.
And he don't take penalties either. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
yeah, he wanted to.
So it's like penalties could, like, look how much penalties he's got. It was a fair amount, and then we created, obviously, but like he got 4 or 5 more goals on top of that 13 he has, and now we're looking at 18 goals in the league or something.
Xavi, do you know what annoyed me this season though? That he's being compared to like Højlund and Nunes, who those clubs have paid well over double for those strikers, well over double, and this guy's not even a striker. For the amount of money they spent on him, and the amount of derision and that he gets from rival fans, it's just nonsensical to me. And he's actually performing better than most strikers in this league this season. There's only Haaland. For me, there's only Haaland, Watkins, and Isak who've had better seasons than him in front of goal, and he's not even a natural number 9 for me.
Like when Højlund or whatever his name is not scoring, he's absolutely fucking useless.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah, man.
And you ask Liverpool fans about Nunes. I mean, you know, it's one of those. He deserves great praise. Does he need to improve? Absolutely. But that's so good about him. I think he can improve. I really do.
Yeah, he's gonna improve. To me, I 100% think he's gonna improve. And the reason why, like, what was it? Last year was like his first full professional season, or half of a season.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And
and then he got moved to striker, I think, because the Moreno had an injury. Like, you know what I mean? He's originally like playing out on the left. Like, I see him as like a left inside or out on the left, like kind of that Anelka role, like where Drogba was. Like, yeah, Drogba and Anelka, him like a striker. Like, look at Thuram and Martinez, like someone who holds up the ball and he's like floating off the hold up guy, or like that number 9. We need a number 9 regardless. And then it's because he's at Chelsea and he's our number 9, the main pressure and focus on him, which I like. No matter what the criticism has come his way, he still keeps going, bro. Yeah. Like, no matter what criticism, he's still running his ass. Like, you know what I mean? Still playing his game. And the past, all right, he missed that chance at Villa. He did take the goal well against Villa. That header against Tottenham was good. That's an underrated header. I know it was an open goal, but to get the power. And
to get it actually, and also, because there were like a couple of defenders there that could have cleared it. So to actually get direction on it and the power.
Look at that. He had a marginal offside goal, a header that he missed. Yeah. And 2 goals in the past 2 games. That's easily like 4 games straight. Or like even Arsenal, he could have scored against Arsenal. Like, he makes chances too for himself and makes chances for others. His dribbling is very underrated. You know what I mean? For his size, like, he holds up the ball very well. Sometimes, all right, he's passing, whatever, could improve, but he has a lot that we can work with, and the stuff that he can work on can be worked on. He's probably not going to be that lights out finisher, because I feel like sometimes that's natural where a guy just knows the back of the net. You know what I mean? But he can improve in his composure and his technique on, like, all right, when you get in this position, you open up your body angle. And like the Villa, right? You see the way he hit that shot? When he goes through next time on Villa, like, he opens up his body and tries to curl in the right instead of like stabbing it with his right foot. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I was the one screaming we need a striker regardless, and it's not fair for us to put this guy in. I think preseason kind of fooled us a little bit, because I went to that game against Brighton where he looked like that clinical finisher, bro. And States, I'm telling you, got the chance. I didn't think he was gonna miss, but he's young. Like, he shouldn't, for what our standards used to be, I guess, should not be Chelsea's number 9. You know what I mean?
No, it should never be Chelsea's. And
I don't know. I really Jackson.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. As soon as people get around their heads that if you want to compare him to any Chelsea player, he's like a Solomon Kalou than a Didier Drogba. Whoever started the Didier Drogba thing you're just an idiot. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Just an absolute idiot. I don't even compare any striker that we ever get to Didier Drogba, because he's just unique. This guy's it's got more of a crossbreed. It's more of a hybrid of a Kalou than I've ever. Then I don't really like to compare players, but he just so reminds me of Kalou. Going to be very frustrating in terms of some of the chances that he should get, and then some of the chances where you go, well, how did he do that? Like that goal against Everton, where he just took it and then turned and spun and scored like that, and then he's like missing like key one-on-ones and stuff like that. But he's just, I mean, for what he's been asked to do, to lead this young side, to lead that line, I think he's done a very, very, very good job. And for anyone saying he's not a good player or he's shit and stuff like that, I'm just not. First of all, once I hear someone say Nicholas Jackson is shit, I'm just going to walk away, because that's just I don't care whether you're a Chelsea fan or a rival fan. For me, that's just nonsensical and do that. And for any Chelsea fans saying he's the worst striker we've ever had or one of the worst, please look at your history of this club. Please look at the history of this club.
It's agenda.
It is agenda. It's totally agenda. That's what it is. And it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you list those strikers off: Kezman, Morata, apart from the first half of the first season, was here. The rest was crap. Shevchenko, Shevchenko, we bought 30 million at that time. Was a huge
flop, man.
He was a flop. Flop.
I know Torres would help us with the Champions League, but for what he was at the time, I know you had the knee injury for 50 million at that time in January. I thought,
you know what I don't like Torres? He cost Ancelotti's job.
Ancelotti got him. I got forced to play because that was a Roman signing.
Yeah,
he was Roman forcing. To be honest, in the overall scheme, Torres was a flop. I know he did that for the Champions League, but he was a flop for us.
Yeah, he was a flop. He was for 50 million. He was more of a flop than he was. Everyone's going to say like, "Oh, we scored a load of goals in 12th the season after the Champions League." most of those goals were in the Europa League. Everyone realizes that, right? That Europa League run, he's got a shit ton of goals in that. But yeah, he was a flop. It wasn't the Fernando Torres we've seen at Liverpool, like before his injury and stuff like that. But yeah, he's better. He's so much better than Kezman. Higuain, how dare you bring up Higuain? I forgot he even played for this club.
Fuck.
How dare you bring up Higuain? How dare you? How dare you? But yeah,
Higuain came for like half a season and
exactly, and did what? And did what? Nothing, but stuff his face in catering, something like that. That's what he did. That bastard. But it's like, yeah, it's just honestly, some people just need. I don't mind if you say you don't like the player, rate the player, fine, but don't go overboard with it. That's where you lose that. That's where you lose any credibility with me, like that. It's just mad. But yeah, well, so yesterday was a very, very good last two performances, and let's say last 3 out of 4 games performances. No, last 3 performances. Second half against Villa was good.
2.5.
And then obviously the Arsenal game's the big. At least we got our 5 goals back that we lost against Arsenal, so at least we got those back. As we know, guys, everyone already should be supporting, no matter where Man United already should be supporting Crystal Palace tonight.
Crystal Palace,
every Chelsea and remember, we've got to win our games, and then I wouldn't focus on Spurs. I would focus on 6. That's what I'd focus on. I wouldn't focus on 5th. I'd focus on 6.
That's a
only because United play Crystal Palace tonight and then Arsenal, and they've got no defenders. They've got no centre backs. Paraguay's injured. And remember, Man United and Newcastle also play each other, I think, on the last day of the season, or near enough near that. So we've got to do our jobs. Now, it'll be tough because Forest are fighting for their lives. Brighton's always tough away. And then Bournemouth at home is not going to be easy. But I just hope he sticks to this and don't make any changes unless there's any injuries. Start introducing players like he did yesterday with Nkuku and Gusto and stuff like that. I forgot Nkuku got an assist, didn't he? Cameron got an assist, so that was good for him. But yeah, we need to win the last 3 and let's see where the chips fall. If we get 6, then yeah, they came out yesterday, Xavi, and said they want Europa League football, not conference. They want Europa League football. So 7th is not. Yeah, 7th is not going to be good enough. They want Europa League football, not conference. Europa League football. So that's why I said I think he's left it too late. Do you know what I mean?
But this is where I'm still judging him because our away form is not that. Our home form has been improving a lot. Our performance has been improving, like second half of Villa, but our away form is still to be studied.
Jem's on holiday, bro. He's having a break. He's on holiday, so he'll be back soon. But yeah, Don and I are covering as much as we can during this time, so he'll be back. Don't worry. He's in the chat, I think, or we watching.
The reason why I saw the stream was because of Twitter on the space.
Right. Okay. No, we were because I don't think we could. No one could do. Was there a response? Was there a show about the Spurs result? I can't remember if there was, but yeah, we were just trying to figure it out because obviously it's Bank Holiday Monday in the UK, so most people are off, not working, so that's where we fit around. But yeah, we got to, like I say, cheer on the Palace. Whoa. That's what we'll be doing tonight, man. Hopefully Palace get the job done against Man United. But wouldn't it be Man United to somehow, like they've done all season, shithouse their way to like a draw or something like that, like they did against Bournemouth where they got battered and stuff like that. But yeah, we got who we got next? We got Forest, Brighton, and then Bournemouth. So yeah, we still got difficult games. 2 of them away, which are record away is. Well,
I'm worried about that.
Sketchy at best. We got Forest fighting for their lives. We got Brighton. Brighton are not doing anything, but they'll be difficult anyway because it's just Brighton.
I see what they did against Villa. Like they can.
Yeah, Villa are like so like they're just not interested. They've got their with Spurs knocking up. They've got top 4 wrapped up. They've literally got top 4 wrapped up. So it's like.
And they just played Europe.
They just played Europe as well Thursday, and it's like, don't worry, they'll be in Europe. They don't have to worry about Thursday night football next season because they'll be in Champions League playing Tuesday or Wednesday, so that'll be fine. And then like Bournemouth may not matter depending on the next 2 games. So Bournemouth might not even. We might go into Bournemouth going, yeah, we can't finish 6, something like that. So, but like I
I
said,
don't know, but the thing is, I feel
Mm.
like it's definitely doable because we're only 2 points, but just focus. We have to focus on that. We have to get what we need to get done first, and then hope for on the results. Because Newcastle still got to play Man U, but I'm just I'm not too confident we'll get some at Nottingham Forest. The way we're playing, yes, maybe, but if pass, I'll be back.
The thing about the Forest game is that they are fighting for their lives. They are fighting for their Premier League survival. So it comes to a point where it can either play into our hands that they're so over emotional about it that they just make mistakes, or they literally try and blitz us and we're not prepared for it. That would be my worry, that we'll go into it and they'll blitz us the first like 5-10 minutes. Not that they'll score a lot of goals, but they'll just play and we might not be able to respond for like 20 minutes or something like that, and it'll work out like that. But hopefully, I'm sure like loads of people will be on a side note be wanting Cho to score against us, even if we win, to satisfy their we shouldn't have sold him. Why did we sell him for 3 million and stuff like that? But that's on another note. But anyway, yeah, like I said, going to wrap up. There's 260 people watching from Chelsea Fans TV, GNA TV. Like and share the video, please, on both channels, and subscribe if you haven't done so. People watching on Twitter as well, thank you very much. Come over and give it a like, give a comment. Like I said, you've been very respectful in the chat. I know Jem's not here and stuff like that, so we appreciate it as well. Don's starting off and helping us, and Javi. Obviously, some of the guys in America on the West Coast probably wouldn't be able to jump on because it's very early in the morning there. Javi's on the East Coast, so he's only, but he's like 5 hours behind. So, and he's got a newborn son, so he probably doesn't know what time
because of the kid. And as soon as
he doesn't know what time
he started.
He doesn't know what month it is. Javi doesn't know what month it is or year it is at this moment in time. He's got a newborn son. He's doing the best job in the world at this moment. So, I'm on a 15-year deal with GNA TV channel. I don't know about that, bro. If it ever happened, it ever happened. But yeah, I want to thank you for joining us today. Like I say, Jem's on holiday. He's having a good time. He was in the chat earlier. But like I said, subscribe to GNA TV. He's now burning it back up again. I'm sure we'll be doing more stuff in the summer with the transfers and the Euros that are happening as well. We'll see more of us on here as much as we can. Obviously it might be at a later time because Jim likes to go a bit later. But yeah, like I said, and be happy, man. Chelsea won 5-0 yesterday. 5-0 yesterday. Be happy. We're actually playing some good football. Let's see if we can continue it down the road. And, hopefully we'll listen, if we get 6, then a conversation over Poch, whether you like it or not, it changes a bit. So there we go. Let's have a good end to the season. Let's hope Palmer can get a golden boot or something like a young player of the year or something like that. Let's hope Nicholas Jackson gets a couple of more goals to shove down all the haters and the agenda merchants in our own fan base. And let's just, let's enjoy it, for what we can. We've not had a lot to enjoy this season. So let's do it. Let's focus on the summer, get the right recruitment in. And let's see what we can do next season. Because like I said, if we're going to finish 6th in this league, the way we've done this season, then there's an opportunity next season to get, for me, defo top 4. Yeah, defo top 4 with the right recruitment. Maybe even include a new manager, but that's another conversation. I want to thank you for joining us. Like, share, all of that. Leave a comment if you want to do so. We don't really ask for super chats, but you can always super chat in if you wanted to. But I want to thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday. Like I say, big up to GNA TV, big up to Jem, and up the Chelsea.
We ain't getting 4th, man.